Hello, my name is Dr. Sanjay Suri, and I am one of the founder members of Prem Seva, an initiative to support the care of senior people at home. I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Ravi Karwa, a friend and a colleague, and a qualified yoga teacher and instructor. Ravi, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be a yoga teacher?
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you for having me on this platform. My interest in yoga goes a long, long time ago when I was perhaps a teenager, but I never pursued it further at that time due to all kinds of pressures of life. Until about just a little more than a decade ago, I happened to chance upon the Sri Sri School of Yoga. So I went to Bangalore and did an intensive yoga teachers training program. And since then, I've never looked back. For the last several years, we've been organizing the yoga festivals to celebrate the International Yoga Day. And we've been doing various other programs. We've supported the hospital during these sessions via all the funds that we raised on that. And that's how we came across each other, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And what an amazing journey. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one of the questions that often comes up is what actually is yoga? Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
It's yoga is a very broad term. Yoga, in essence, means union of the body, the mind, and the spirit and the breath. And then there are different kinds of union of the individual being with the supreme being. There are various different meanings which people have attached to yoga, but often we find that when you talk about yoga, people think it is just the postures. Somebody is sitting in a very awkward, contorted posture, and that is a very incorrect or incomplete understanding, I will say, of yoga. The body postures are important, but they are a very small part of yoga. The rest of the yoga is dealing with the mind, the emotions, the state of your being, all kinds of things. So it is a very broad term. The postures are just a very small part of it.
Okay, excellent. Great. So one of the things that again comes up is what are the benefits of yoga? So do you mind just outlining those, especially for senior people?
Definitely. So the benefits of yoga are actually very wide. They start with the body, the physical benefits at the body level, then your emotional level, your mental level, state of the mind. So at the body level, it's quite understandable. You're doing an exercise, you're stretching your joints, you're flexing your muscles. So it's good for the joints and the muscles and your circulation and all the bodily things that go along with it. At the emotional level, it gives you a control over your emotions, and you feel that you are in more control of your emotions rather than emotions controlling you, which I think in today's world is a very, very plus point to have. And thirdly, it gives you a peace of mind, serenity, a degree of calmness, serenity, all those things, which again, we all want more and more in our life, isn't it? And particularly for our elderly audience, it's all the more important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the questions I'd just like to ask you is, does a person have to be fit to practice yoga?
I think you can be as unfit or as fit as possible, and you can still practice yoga. You could be partially disabled. You could be lying on a bed and do some degree of yoga, or you could be the most fit person, and yet you could benefit from yoga. So it is universal yoga. It's applicable to one and all.
Yeah, and that's so amazing, isn't it?
And that's why we have seen yoga, the discipline of yoga, growing more and more. It's gone from door to door, to shore everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. The other aspect of yoga that we come across is that yoga is a way of life. But what does that actually mean, and what does that include?
So yoga as a way of life basically means that there is an element of discipline in yoga. And yoga can be described as, if I were to divide it into two, it is yoga on the mat and yoga off the mat. Yoga on the mat is, of course, your different exercises and postures you're doing, the breathing techniques you're doing. But yoga off the mat is perhaps the more important yoga, where are we aware of our body posture all day long rather than just when we are on the mat. Are we aware how we are walking? What are we doing? Are we aware of how we are breathing? Are we aware of what is running through our mind? Are we aware that we are making judgments at every moment? I see somebody walking on the street, already a thought is there in my mind that, oh, so-and-so person is walking like this, looking like this, wearing this or that, or not behaving properly. Yoga off the mat, or the way of life, is giving direction to this mental process, this thought process, becoming aware of your own thoughts and your emotions. And that is what actually leads to a better quality of life.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you can be doing yoga while walking down the street because of your awareness of the present moment. Yeah,
absolutely.
That is an amazing concept. Yeah. Okay. So what would your suggestions be, Ravi, about how could senior people get started with yoga?
So senior people could get started right here on this platform, which we are developing. We'll be having an app, and we will be putting up small snippets of me showing you, guiding you through yoga, and we'll do yoga together, so to say. So that's one place. You could, of course, even without the app, if you want, you can start doing gentle stretches. Just give your imagination a little bit of push, and you'll see if you're doing this, rotating your shoulders, sitting straight, you are doing yoga. So you could start just by that, just rotating the neck gently backwards and forwards. That is yoga. And this will immensely help you in your flexibility and your stiffness and body pain and all those sort of things. So anywhere, anytime you can start, but we will be coming up with a series of snippets of how to do yoga.
Excellent. And that will be so useful for the audience. Yeah.
Thank you.
And finally, Ravi, is there anything that you would like to convey, any messages that you would like users to know about?
So what I would like to say is yoga has been very dear to me, and I have benefited personally immensely from it. In fact, I have treated my back pain, my shoulder pain just through yoga. And several times I've experienced this, that whenever I get stiffness in a joint or something, I do a little bit more yoga, and I have not taken paracetamol for decades, really. So it's got immense potential. I used to suffer from sinusitis myself, and just by regular use of yoga and breathing and meditation, I have been able to cure my sinusitis to the extent I've never had it for the last 2 decades, maybe. Wow. Which was a common thing which I used to have. So it's got immense health benefits. And not only that, you're able to deal with situations, pleasant or unpleasant, in a much better, more controlled, more calm, more equanimous way. And I think that is the plus point. Otherwise, what often happens to us, whether we are young or old, if something nice is happening, we get too excited, too carried away. If something not so pleasant happens, then we, sort of immediately become depressed. But knowing that these are all passing phases, and being aware of the moment, as you said, being aware of the present moment, and know that this will also change. That's enjoy amazing. It while it lasts. And if it is not very good, know that it will not last. Yeah, absolutely. And I can't think of any medicine that can do that. All those things that you describe as the benefits. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm sure listeners would be really find this interview really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. We hope to bring some more sessions, and we hope to engage more with our listeners so that we can do yoga together.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.